football, man. We got basketball. We got boxing. I think hockey is getting ready to start back up. There's just a lot of sports that we cover at
Hockey's
this
in
moment.
full swing.
Yeah,
Hockey's in
yeah,
full
yeah,
swing
yeah,
right
yeah. So, it is okay. So, boom, it started. So I'm just overwhelmed with all the sports, man, and I just love it. I just love it. I love it. So all is well.
Yeah. And you guys might be overwhelmed as well, but the easiest way to keep up with everything that's happening is to do one thing for us. Give us that Mercedes-Benz treatment.
Hey,
Comment, like, subscribe, and Dub and I'll keep bringing you more content and help you figure out what games you need to watch, who's winning, who's going to lose. Tune in, share it with your friends, your family. Drop us the comments. We'll comment back, show you guys love. We're going to get into it today with our NFL Week 14 Power Rankings. We love to do the Power Rankings before the games actually occurred. There was a game last night, but let's keep it real. Neither one of those teams are in the Power Rankings. So what we're going to do is Dub and I every week like to hit you with our top 5 teams for the week based on the rest of the season. So Dub, go ahead and run it off. Who are your top 5 teams
absolutely.
right now?
So again, these are week to week. So I don't want you all bad mouthing me in the comments saying, "Oh my God, this is just what I saw over the weekend, what I saw on Monday."
And what you think you're going to see this week?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start at number 1. I think it's easier for me to start at number 1. Come on, man. They reign supreme. The Philadelphia Eagles. But they've only lost one game this season. They showing no signs of slowing down at the moment. That offense is so potent. It's very hard to stop them. They have a very stout defense with very, very good edge rushers as well as a good linebacking core, as well as a secondary. The secondary, Darius Slate. I mean, God, these boys are balling. And they are flying around the field. Fly, Eagles, fly. Number 1. Number 2, so it gets a little tricky. I hate I have to say it. I'll put the Dallas Cowboys at number 2. What I saw on Monday, for me to say it takes a lot. Yeah. What I saw on Monday Night Football and what happened in the fourth quarter was something remarkable. I've never seen that many points put on somebody in a quarter in an NFL game. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm just oblivious to the fact that there have been games like that, but man, Dallas Cowboys offense are showing no signs of slowing down. The defense with Micah Parsons, you got Lawrence, you got middle linebacker number 55. He's good with the little. He's great. So yeah. I forgot his last name. And then you got Diggs. Diggs. He's an aggressive corner,
right?
And he likes to take risks. That could be costly in the playoffs because honestly, I might would have them at number 1 if it wasn't for some of the gaps that they have in the secondary. But they're number 2. Go Cowboys. 3. I'm gonna have to say the Kansas City Chiefs. I like how they're playing, even though they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals last week. I still think they are a top 3 team in the NFL right now. There's a few things that they need to shore up on the defensive side of the ball, but the offense, again, is lethal. They can put up points at a high frequency. So I do see those guys making a very tremendous run in the playoffs. But their Achilles heels is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're not my number 4. My number 4 is going to be the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, again, they're made for cold weather games. And those cold weather games are going to be played in the playoffs. And so when you have Buffalo playing great football right now, offense is looking really good, defense is looking pretty good, I have them at number 4. The only reason why I have them at number 4 and not number 3 is that, man, Von Miller is out for the season with an ACL injury. So when you look at that, that is a very catastrophic loss that they have incurred this season because they picked him up. They acquired him for those deep playoff runs. So with that being said, I have them at number 4. And number 5, this is the hardest pick for me, and I have to do it. I'm sorry to Miami Dolphins, but I'm going to have to put the Cincinnati Bengals at number 5. And this is why. These guys went 0-2 at the beginning of the season. Since then, they have gone 8-2. Want to hear that again? They have gone 8-2. So these guys are prepared for the long haul. They may not win games early on in the season, but when it comes to primetime football and being able to put up or shut up, these are the guys that you want to put your money on. I can see them having a challenge this weekend against the Cleveland Browns. That is their Achilles heel. Right there, that competition there in Ohio. They always will have a chip on their shoulder when they play the Browns. But the Browns, at times, again, they kind of overcome that because they have a strong defensive line. And so, with that being said, I have Cincinnati losing this weekend, possibly to the Browns. But man, these guys are making a great case to be repeat offenders to be in the Super Bowl. So that rounds off my top five, man.
Man, a lot of misses there. It's just like,
man, what I miss?
I was listening to you, Rick, and I was with you. And then you put the Chiefs over the Bengals, but the Bengals beat the Chiefs. I don't know. Listen, guys, Dub is usually right, but this time he's not. I'm gonna give you my power, and I'm gonna tell you why. So listen, at number one, I gotta agree with Dub. The Philadelphia Eagles, best team in football right now. Philadelphia is hitting on all cylinders. I see them losing 2 more games this season at max. Jalen Hurts, to me, is the MVP frontrunner. You got A.J. Brown, who just went off on his old team last week, the Titans. You got, a solid running attack. You got players at every position that are making plays. The defense is stout. The offense can score the ball. It's just been a really impressive run by the Philadelphia Eagles this year. One that I didn't see coming. I told a lot of people I believe Jalen Hurts could be a great NFL quarterback. A lot of people doubted it, especially after seeing him lose his position to Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama. But this kid is resilient. He's strong. He's smart, and he plays great football. So I got the Philadelphia Eagles at number one. At number two, I would be remiss if I had the best NFC team at number one and then put the best team in the AFC at number two. The number 2 team in our power rankings this week is the Cincinnati Bengals. And here's why. The Cincinnati Bengals have beat the Kansas City Chiefs not 1, not 2, but 3 times in the calendar year of 2022. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes, one of the most explosive offenses in recent history, and they're getting smacked every time they play the Bengals. The Bengals are if it wasn't for the Eagles, the Bengals would be the best team in the league right now. Like you said, 0-2 to start the season, 8-2 since. The offensive line looks like they went to a different dimension and came back. Somehow they've learned how to block, protect the quarterback. Joe Burrow's making plays. I see Dub with his hands up.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before we go to number 3. What's your favorite NFL team?
Let's finish these power rankings.
Subjectiveness at its finest. I digress.
So, at number 3, I've got the Dallas Cowboys.
They should be a 2, but okay.
It's very, very tough to. What was that, Dub?
No. They should be at number 2, but you can go ahead.
They could possibly be at number 2 because they beat the Cincinnati Bengals at the beginning of the season. However, I think that the Dallas Cowboys, as Rick always likes to say, peaking at the right time is important. I agree 100%. I think the Dallas Cowboys have peaked at this point. I think that game that we saw against the Colts is the pinnacle of what they have to offer. I do think that they're going to have a tough road ahead. I know that they kicked Minnesota's behind a few weeks ago, but I don't think we're going to see that in the coming weeks. I think Minnesota needed that. That was their second loss of the season. They needed that to regroup. They have a first-year coach. But I think that the Dallas Cowboys, again, are a great football team, possibly going to be in the NFC Championship. Again, they're hitting on all cylinders. Defense, as Rick already pointed out, they're great at every position. Running back, the two-headed monster is going crazy. Dak is playing, pretty good. So I think the Dallas Cowboys are the number 3 team right now, and it would be hard to argue that they're any lower than number 3, but possibly could be number 2. as Dub pointed out. For me, at number 4, very hard choice, but I got to put the Minnesota Vikings at number 4. The Minnesota Vikings are 10-2. They are 9-0 in one-score games. When you think about the playoffs, when you think about the intensity, this team has shown that they can win the close games. And just a few years ago, people were arguing that they get rid of Kirk Cousins. But Kirk Cousins, I don't know if putting the ice on every week after the games, having on all the diamonds, all the baguettes, the boogers, the VVSs. I don't know. I'm going to call him VVS Kirk. But right now, he's hitting on all cylinders. Justin Jefferson is top 2 receiver in the game right now, and he's not 2. What else can you ask for? And you still got Adam Thielen, who's there to make plays. You still got Dalvin Cook in the backfield, and their defense is showing up. Minnesota Vikings are a great football team and a football team you have to watch out for. I will say, I call this out now, the Kansas City Chiefs, with the loss last week, have dropped out of my Power 5. So at number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills. Now, the reason is simply because, again, like we said, peaking at the right time is important. Buffalo just seems to lose games that they should win. They lost to the Jets. They play big when they need to, but it's just inconsistent. Like, even 9-3, great record, but I think they should be, 11-1 right now, honestly. That's the level they should play to. Although, again, winning games and winning the games you're supposed to can mask things that are going on behind the scenes. I think that Buffalo is getting healthy at the right time. In the secondary, you got Tre'Davious White, who will be coming back from injury, that horrific knee injury he had. Micah Hyde is getting healthy, but they lost Von Miller. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out for the Buffalo Bills. The AFC is stacked. I mean, you got the Baltimore Ravens, who are leading their division right now. You got the Cincinnati Bengals, who are on their heels. You got the Kansas City Chiefs. You got the Buffalo Bills. You got so many teams in the AFC that it's really going to be tough for Buffalo to do it. I think that this is their year, if any year. This has got to be the year that they get over the hump and they get to the Super Bowl. And hopefully for Buffalo Bills fans, they do that. But we'll see. They're going to have to go through Cincinnati. The road to the Super Bowl goes through Cincinnati. And they're also going to have to go through the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see how they can handle it. Again, honorable mention, like I said, falling out of the top 5, Kansas City Chiefs, after that loss last week to the to the Cincinnati Bengals. Listen, you can't lose to a conference foe 3 times.
Bro, they lost by 3 points.
They've lost. I want to say.
Okay.
I want to say all of the games have been 27-24.
Okay. It's crazy, right?
And on January 2nd this year, when I was at the game, the Kansas City Chiefs were up by 14 points.
Here's the thing, man. For you to put them out of the top 5, not thinking about what's to come, and I know this is week to week. I know we're talking about week 14 here.
Well, hold on. Before you make that point, Rick, before you make that point, Dub.
Okay. All right.
You put them in the top 5, but didn't include the Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely not. For me, it's the eye test.
So Minnesota doesn't pass the eye test?
No, I have them at 6. I have them at even at 10-2. I have them at 6.
So you got Minnesota at 6. I got the Chiefs at 6. I mean,
okay. Hold on. Listen, I have a lot of foresight. So think about this. Think about the Chiefs' remaining games. They have the Broncos, W. They have the Texans, W. The Seahawks, I don't know about that one. The Broncos, again, W. Raiders, W. So they can finish out winning 4 of their last 5 games, right?
Which will put them at what?
13 and something.
That will put them at 13-4.
So do you think the Minnesota Vikings? Do you think?
Hold on, let's look at the Vikings schedule. Let's run through theirs.
And we can go through the Bengals schedule too. It look a little scary.
We're gonna do it. So okay, so the Vikings got the Lions this week. The Lions have been playing good.
Upset.
So
Upset.
they can go either way. I agree with you. I got the Lions winning that. They got the Colts the week after. I got them, closing out, winning against the Colts.
Upset. Upset.
They got the Giants on Christmas Eve.
Upset.
Oh, you got the Giants? So you got them losing 3 straight?
I got them losing 3 straight, bro.
Then they got the Packers.
W.
Okay. Then they got the Bears.
W.
So based on what you're saying, you got them losing 3 out of the next 5.
Yeah.
Which will put them at 12-5.
Yeah, still a great record. They'll make it to the playoffs easily.
I can't agree with that. They're not going to lose 3 straight games, and they're not going to lose 3 out of the next 5. I got them winning at least 3 of the next 5. And for me, that puts them also at 13.
Okay. So out of all those L's that I just mentioned, what team do you think the Vikings can beat?
They're going to beat the Colts. They're not going to lose to the Colts. Again, that's at home against a Colts team that just got demoralized last week by the Cowboys. They're not losing to the Colts. Potentially lose to the Lions just because the Lions are clicking right now and are playing good football and inspired football at that. I don't think they're going to lose to the
Gotta love Dan Campbell. Gotta love Dan Campbell
and what he's doing, man. Again, it goes to what we spoke about building a winning culture. I watched him on Hard Knocks.
Loved it.
Was a real one, and he really put a lot of passion and a lot of love into coaching those guys and turning that culture around. So
it's coming.
That's what we're seeing the fruits of that labor. So yeah, I think the Lions can beat them. They don't lose to the Colts. They don't lose to the Giants. The Giants have already peaked. They're going downhill. It's going to get worse before it gets better in New York. They don't lose to Aaron Rodgers on New Year's Day. They just don't.
I agree with that.
They go into Lambeau, and they're going to beat them in Lambeau. And then they beat the Bears. So, again, I really got to win in 4 out of 5, but I'm saying there could be one slip up in there.
I'm going to tell you right now, people better look out. Listen, if the Detroit Lions can get some momentum by beating the Vikings, man, bro, they got a chance to get into that playoffs, I think. Because, bro, they barely lost to the Bills. They killed the Giants. Bro, I think they have something good going on in Detroit. They're going to be really good next year.
Yeah, they're second in the division right now. I mean, I don't know that it's enough to make the playoffs. They're 5-7 right now. They would have to basically win all of the rest of their games to get in. I don't think so. I think
it's impossible.
I think the playoffs are far-fetched for this year, but they're on the rise. They're only going to get better. I mean, this is a team, if we said at the beginning of the season that they were going to win 5 games, I think they would rejoice over that. So, yeah, I think they're on the rise. Like you said, watch out. The Lions are coming in the next couple of years.
I agree.
Cincinnati Bengals, you wanted to talk about the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, looks a little rough, bro.
They got the Browns. This coming week. So we also have to mention that the Browns already beat the Bengals. And they beat them 32-13. So they're not going to lose to the Browns again with the playoffs on the line. They've won 4 straight games since that Browns loss, dominating the Panthers 42-21, winning a tough game against the Steelers, beating beating a good Titans team, a solid Titans team, beating a great Kansas City Chiefs team. They're going to come. They got a home game. They're coming home. They're going to beat the Browns this coming Sunday, and it won't be close. I'll put it that way. So they got the Browns. They got Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. That's a win. Tom Brady again.
I don't think so.
Okay, we can agree to disagree, but the Bucs are trying to hang on for dear life in the NFC South. They're not going to beat the Bengals. Then they've got to go to Gillette and play the Patriots. Smash. They're going to beat the Patriots. They got the Bills on January 2nd. I got the Bills winning that game. And then they have the Ravens on January 8th to finish off the season, which could potentially be a division-deciding game. Depending on what the Ravens are able to do over the next couple of weeks, they won't have Lamar Jackson. It'll be very tough on them. So again, I have the Bengals losing one or two more games, depending
Mhm.
on. I'm going to just say one. I'm going to say they're going to lose to the Bills, but they'll beat all these other teams. And that puts them at winning the division. In that case, if they only lose one more, that puts them at 12-5 on the season. And so that's how I see it. That's how I see the rest of the season going for the Bengals. Not even being biased, giving it a real opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what our power rankings will be 2 weeks from now, and what teams will still be there and what teams are not there. Because miraculously, 4 weeks ago, I had the Jets in my Power Five as a tie at the bottom, and they're nowhere near that now.
I got them in 7th.
Jets,
Yeah.
I got them closer to 9.